so much for joining us. I wanted to talk to you today and just ask a little bit about your recent medical experience. I understand that you were hospitalized recently. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I had no idea it had happened or anything. My daughter, I remember being on the floor out of this chair that I'm in right now. I was on the floor, and my daughter and my daughter-in-law were sleeping in my bed. And she woke up and she was talking to me, and I was talking back to her,
Mhm.
but it wasn't coming out correctly. It
Mhm.
was coming out gibberish.
Mhm.
So she kept asking me more of the same questions, and I kept answering her. And she was like, something's not right.
Mhm.
And then she called my sister, who's a nurse at the hospital, which I had my heart surgery at and everything.
Mhm.
So she called my sister, and my sister said, I think she's having a stroke. And they called 911, and they got the rescuers over. They got me up. They got me into the ambulance. And then they transported me back to the hospital where I had my TAA repair.
Mhm.
And they clearly looked at me and said, she's having a stroke. They did a scan or something on me from what I can remember,
Mhm.
and then I went to another hospital. They pulled me in, they did the scan again, and the next thing I know that they were doing the thrombectomy.
Mhm. Did you understand when you were having the procedure what was happening, or were you still confused about the events?
I was still really confused about everything, and I remember riding in the ambulance, and you're seeing the lights pass by and everything, and I remember them kept calling my name. They didn't want me to fall asleep.
Mhm.
And I don't really remember. I mean, I remember them in the thrombectomy because I was awake. They went through my carotid, or not my carotid artery, through my femoral artery
Mhm.
and went up and did it. I was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. The thrombectomy and everything, it took about 4 or 5 days for me to recognize my sister, my husband. I didn't know who they were.
Mhm. Mhm.
So on the fifth day, I recognized everybody who was around me a little bit, and they asked me to put my fingers to my nose, and I was like 2 feet away still. And I was like, okay. And they're like, no, you got to come a little bit close. I was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks, and I was in ICU for the first week
Mhm.
until they could get me up and everything. It was about the seventh, eighth day after it, they got me up. Yeah, I was taken care of 100%. They were there every time. My family was with me the whole time. My husband stayed with me throughout the nights and everything. And then when he couldn't be there, my older son was there, and my sister was there for days. But the nurses were very helpful. The doctors were very much in and out, just saying their names and everything. But everybody took care of me the way they were supposed to. It was a lot of therapy
Mhm.
for a short amount of time, but it was well worth it. The doctor says I'm within 5% of being completely back to normal. Other than that, I'm completely fine. I'm back to working. Unfortunately with COVID, I'm working from home,
Right.
but I'm back to work. I'm walking, I'm driving, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing.
And I think that's one thing that we want to share with our audience is just what some of those symptoms of stroke are. I know that you mentioned you were sleeping, but for somebody who may be awake and conscious, we use the acronym FAST, face, to if you notice any type of facial drooping, arms, if your arms are falling limp and you're not, or one side of your body is not reacting the way it's normally supposed to. Speech, if you notice a speech slurred, and I know that you mentioned that that's what your family witnesses, that your speech was not making any sense. And then time, the T stands for time. Timing is so critical. It's really a very coordinated effort on behalf of our medical teams to know that reacting quickly is really key to helping our patients recover.
When the paramedics came, she told me weeks later, she
Mhm.
said, I told them, I think she's having a stroke. And they looked at you and they said, yeah, she's having a stroke.
Wow. Yeah.
So they recognized it very quickly and got me into the ambulance and transported me out.
Ms. Gallo, is there anything else that maybe you'd like to share with our audience about the message of stroke and just why, again, they shouldn't delay care? I know a lot of people right now are especially nervous to seek care because of the COVID situation, so they may be afraid to think about going into a hospital. But is there anything that maybe you want to share with them?
The FAST, the FAST, I actually have it labeled on my refrigerator currently, just in case anything else happens.
Mhm.
Because timing is crucial.
Mhm.
It's it's completely game changing. There are
Absolutely.
people who had a stroke like I had that can't walk. They can't even form words or anything. So I'm really blessed that I can.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I have to say. Fast.
Absolutely. Well, Ms. Gallo, thank you so much again for taking some time to talk with us and sharing your story. We hope that this will make an impact on a lot of people just to understand the importance of this. For our audience, if you are interested in learning more about stroke, you can learn more at our website at baptisthealthsystem.com, or you can go to our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn for more up-to-date information. Ms. Gallo, thank you again, and I hope that you have a great day and that you stay safe.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.